Hi, I'm Rob.
I'm Katie.
And we're
Livin' Lovin' Disney.
Come join us on our podcast where we talk about all things Disney.
Like our trips and cruises, our DVC resorts, tours of the park, after-hour parties, and our family's crazy Disney life.
We've got some older episodes for you to listen to and get to know us a little bit.
Keep on dreaming.
Welcome into Livin'
Lovin' Disney.
All right. Thanks for joining us this episode. We're going to talk about a couple movies. Encanto and Turning Red.
Okay.
So, let's first start off with Encanto. I'm going to read something about Encanto. Those of you who haven't seen it, I'm sure everybody that's a Disney
Everybody's
freak
seen it by now, sure.
But I'm just going to read this. Is it magic? You read it. That thing right there.
Yeah, you're funny when you read.
I screw everything up.
The Madrigals are an extraordinary family who live hidden in the mountains of Colombia in a charmed place called the Encanto. The magic of the Encanto has blessed every child in the family with a unique gift. Every child except Mirabelle. However, she soon may be the Madrigal's last hope when she discovers that the magic surrounding the Encanto is now in danger.
Okay. So, okay, I watched it a couple times. I've maybe even seen it like 2.5 times.
I think I've watched it about 3 times.
Have you watched it 3 times?
Yeah.
Wow. Because the first time I watched it, I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I've seen it several times.
So, okay. So, it seems to be...
It's growing on me.
All the rage for most people. I mean, they even have that Don't Think About Bruno or whatever. What's it called?
Don't talk about Bruno.
Don't talk about Bruno. Okay.
That's right.
I don't get it, but okay. Anyways, so what was your feelings about the movie?
I think it had a lot of hype in the beginning. The first time I watched it, I was like, it's okay. I wasn't crazy about it, and I had to watch it again. I had to kind of walk away, and then I watched it again with different eyes.
Why weren't you crazy about it?
I think I had, you know how sometimes you get so much hype and so much excitement about how wonderful something is,
right?
That you're overexcited about it.
Your expectations
my expectations were really high. And, I mean, the last great movie I saw was like Tangled. You know, I was expecting another good movie. I loved Tangled. Tangled was great.
Wasn't Frozen?
Well, Frozen was good too. I liked Frozen too, actually. Yeah, let's not go there. We're staying on this movie.
Okay. So,
anyway, I just expected big hoopla. You know, and when we watched it, I didn't have that, oh my God, after the movie. That was so good. It was like, that was okay. I just didn't have that same connection with it. I had to go back in, and I talked with kids, and why did you like it? What did you like about it? And then I went back and watched again and tried to pick up what they saw in it. Because I was being too critical.
Right.
Because my expectations were really big of what I expect of a movie. It's not the same as what everybody else expects of a movie.
Right.
So I had to back up and listen to other people, watch it again, and then pick up the little side stories that people had certain characters that they liked and why they liked that character and why they felt this person was wrong or that person did this. And listening to the scuttle with the kids on why they liked certain things helped me to go back in and watch it with different eyes. And I like it better now. I'm singing all the songs, I'm teasing, and it's quite enjoyable.
Okay.
But it was not an instant favorite for me.
I mean, I watched it the first time, and I probably the same as you. You know, I don't know that I was really expecting anything great. I was just more curious as how it was going to be. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like it hit me upside the head. Like, holy gosh, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but I have to say that. I mean, if I was to go back to like Frozen or something, that wasn't like, that was awesome. We're talking, you know, I'm an older guy, so I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh. But, I mean, the animation was great in it, and the music was good in it as well. Is it just the same caliber as some of the other movies that they've done as far as the soundtrack goes? I don't think so. But a lot of people like the soundtrack on it.
The soundtrack was good, but, you know, again, before I watched the movie, everyone was like already praising the You Don't Talk About Bruno and some of those as being more popular than Let It Go from Frozen. And at that moment, they were saying it was already the top song, and I hadn't even heard it.
I heard it on the radio when we were at Disney. I think when we were driving. I can't remember where we heard it, but I mean, man, Josh's wedding reception, they were.
Well, I already watched it twice by then.
But I mean, people were kind of bringing it up then. So I mean, I would, in my opinion, it's not the same soundtrack as like Frozen or like Little Mermaid.
I didn't think so either, but it has, like I said, it has grown on me though. Or now I'm singing the songs more.
It's showing a different culture. Yeah. Now I'm not sure about. I guess there must be some kind of thing in the Colombian culture because it takes place in Colombia. Yeah. The mountains of Colombia or whatever.
Yeah, and it's got that kind of music, which could be a different taste and stuff, but.
So,
my impression, the first time I watched it, I was very critical on the grandma, and the poor Mirabelle. I thought she was just so wrongly treated, and I feel sorry for her for most of the movie. You know, she didn't get her blessing, but
she seemed like the normal kid.
She was the normal one, kid, but it was like they shamed her all the time because she didn't have magic. And
because she went when she went to the door, it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. You know, so something's wrong.
It's on her time.
It didn't happen for her, so she kind of got blackballed by Grandma, I think.
Yeah, and then like anything went wrong, and she was instantly, "What did you do?" And I was like, "What is wrong with you people?"
Grandma's terrible. I thought Grandma's the villain in this one.
I just didn't. I had a hard time with Grandma and my opinion as a parent of how they were being treated.
Right.
With her, she was the first character that I had sympathy for all the way through. And, and then as I watched it more, you realize several of them, their blessings were also a curse in there.
I could see that. I could see that.
Look at the one with the weather, who every time she had an emotion, there was a storm over her head.
Right.
It affected everything around her, and she couldn't do it. And the one who was beautiful all the time, everybody just expected flowers and make things alive constantly. They expected their gifts to provide for everyone. And the woman that is super strong, she never got to have a moment. She was constantly doing for everyone. Yes, it was a woman.
I don't know if Disney's doing
it was thing. It was a woman. She was quite masculine, but
she was pumped up like a woman.
She was pumped up, but she was constantly in service.
Right.
And that was her thing. Why can't I have a moment of my own?
You're right. It's almost like a curse.
It was a blessing and a curse.
And I kind of picked up on that myself. I'm like, because the townspeople
leaned on them for their magic.
For everything. I'm like, like they had to have the magic or
they were all going to die. And it's like, really?
Yeah, I kind of picked on that too.
Yeah. And
but that was kind of the message of the movie,
right? The movie is the magic is within you, and everyone had to realize that participation and the love of one another.
Okay,
Poor Bruno.
You got the Bruno character.
Poor Bruno.
And he kind of got the short end of the stick. I mean, because he didn't do anything wrong, right?
No.
They interpreted something to be something that wasn't, and he got the short end of the stick, right?
His talent is that he could foresee kind of glimpses of the future. So every time he would tell somebody about their future, they would see it more of an evil prediction.
Well, I mean, the one that
was just this is your future that can happen.
Right.
Doesn't mean it will happen.
Him, they misinterpreted it.
They did. That was completely misinterpreted. But the whole story, he told me I was going to lose my hair, and I did. Duh. He told me I was going to get fat. Well, there was a warning.
It wasn't
to
like
eat correctly, or you could be
fat.
He
was the cause of it.
Yeah. No. Everything he warned about, it was things that physically they may have been able to control or change.
Right. Maybe it was more of an intuition, like this is what could happen. But
in the end, when she's working with Bruno, this is my future. I can do this.
That's the ticket to the movie is like it's not.
You can change your future.
Your future is what you make of it, right? Yep. So I guess it had a good message to it.
It did, and her gift was bringing and holding the family together.
She was the normal one.
She was the peacemaker and always kind and courteous and normal.
Everybody else had to kind of lean on their little magical thing.
She actually had the most normal life of all of them, really. But
And that was her gift, I think.
Yeah.
Right? That was her gift, and that was the whole thing. That was her gift.
It was just an interesting storyline that they came up with.
I mean, it wasn't a bad one at all. I mean, I watched it twice at least to try to get as much out of it as I could. I'm like you. I was like sometimes not looking for certain things. I wouldn't even say I'm a good movie reviewer.
I have to watch things more than once.
Yeah.
Because I have my instant reaction, and then I kind of come back. Okay, what did I miss? Let me look at more detail. Let me try to get more in depth into this.
More critical the second time around, maybe depending on the movie or what I've heard about it. But
I'm not saying I'm less critical, but I try to open my mind to more. Next time I watch it,
I've talked to like Rusty. We've talked about movies before, and he gets really into it. Man, I'm like, he's like into it. I'm like, God, I'm just watching the movie for the entertainment value. I'm not really looking at all these critical aspects of it. And I have a hard time, I guess, doing that. I'm more, how is this movie entertaining me? Is it fun to watch? Do I enjoy it? I'm not really looking at all the little itsy bitsy things about it that a lot of other people might be looking at. And so I don't catch a lot of that stuff because I'm more about who are the pretty colors, or the music, or how does it make me feel,
Yeah.
So, so these movie reviews that we do, they're a lot of times they're kind of hard for me because of that.
That's okay. I make them raw because a lot of times people are just like you. So.
Right.
I some of those big movie reviewers that do movies all the time, I typically don't agree with them.
That's true. I mean,
they'll say that's
a lot of times
Rotten Apples. And I'm like, I loved that movie.
It's Rotten Tomatoes
or whatever. They'll grade something and it'll be
that's the
Disney version, the Rotten Apples,
the poison apple. So,
but
hey, that could be our thing.
Ooh,
the poison apple review.
How many poison apples do you give it?
Or do
is
you
it
give
a poison apple or a candy apple?
Yeah, there you go. So what would it be, Kathleen? Is it 3 candy apples? What kind of candy apples is it?
I would probably give this one a 1 or 2 candy apple.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I don't know. In what, 5? In a 5? In a
5 candy apple, and I'm not going negative. 2. I would probably give it at least 2 or 3.
Okay. I'll agree with you on that. It was enjoyable to watch. I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen one yet recently that's been like, that was awesome.
I have noticed that the latest ones, most of the Disney movies before captivated me.
Right.
The music, the story, it just captivated you in a way that only Disney could do. And it seems the magic in those movies has changed. The movies aren't as captivating to me as they used to be. Or maybe my expectations are different, but they just don't seem the same. Right. The quality of the movies put out don't seem the same.
Do you think it has something to do with what they're trying to portray in those movies?
Maybe.
As a company?
Maybe, and we did a lot of live action, a lot of remake stuff, and we haven't had a lot of really quality, really good Disney films. The animation was good. The animation was good. I'm not arguing. The animation was very good. It's just the overall feel of the movie.
Right.
It's just not hit that peak
it's not hitting those
that
like
it used to be.
Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, that
Tangled,
whole era.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hit.
Bambi.
They haven't been really able to hit that. Now we're older, whatever. Maybe as kids, maybe it's hitting those kids. I don't know, but I've seen a lot of Disney movies, and I see how they made me feel, and I can feel that Disney-ness to them, and I don't know if I'm really feeling that. Maybe it's me. I don't know. It could be other things that are going on, maybe, that are affecting that.
Can be. I'm
but
not sure.
The animation's good. So, okay. So, any other comments on Encanto? So, you give it a 2.5, 3.
I think there's a lot of internal story in there that help a lot of girls growing up.
I mean, it's got a good message.
Not just girls. It's got some great messages in there of all the gifts received. I would want the gift of the last little boy. I like his gift.
The animal.
He could talk to all the animals.
Yeah, he's Dr. Doolittle.
Oh, I would have liked that one.
This is the world of Dr. Doolittle.
Little? No.
That's a great movie. The old original Dr. Doolittle,
original
not
Doolittle.
the Eddie Murphy one. Sorry, Eddie Murphy.
I mean, not that was bad,
Not
but
that-
I
not
mean,
that Eddie
I like the
Murphy's
classics.
Listening to our podcast, or it gives a crap.
I mean, no diss on Eddie Murphy. I just like the classics.
I like the classic one. Okay, so the next one is Turning Red. Now we've heard a lot of stuff on this one, man. I mean, derogatory, bad comments, and you probably all have seen them on,
It's been everywhere. So
social media or
at
whatever.
first, I didn't
know what to
watch
expect.
it. I didn't know what to expect, and this is the opposite of Encanto. I was hearing just a bunch of kind of derogatory comments about it. So I was like, all right. We're gonna have to watch this. So
and to be honest with you, I don't know how to. Maybe I'm missing some stuff in there, anyways. Like I was just explaining to you. I mean, what other people are seeing. I mean, I kind of saw what people were explaining in their review of the movie.
and I'm gonna have to watch it again and pick up more detail.
Yeah, but overall, what did you think about the character?
First off, everyone was telling us this was a turning of age movie. It's a coming of
And it
age
kinda
movie
was.
about her getting her period and her cycle in life. And I was like, okay.
Because of the red panda, where they were saying
The red panda refers to the period, and I'm like, y'all are smoking crack because this has nothing to do with the period.
Well, they did bring up the fact
It's
that
a
she did
coming
bring
of
pads
age.
to the school.
But it reminded me
think.
more of a Disney version of Teen
Which I have
Wolf.
total
Than
experience with that with the kids.
Talk
I have to
over
say.
me. But you know what I mean? When
Yeah.
she turns into a panda, it's like Teen Wolf's coming of age. He turned
It
into a
was
wolf.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
In a cartoon version.
Right.
But the girl.
And it wasn't
Exactly.
about, oh my God, she's having a period. It's that mom
Well,
thought she was
but-
having a period.
But that's
she
what
really
Teen Wolf
wasn't.
was all about.
Yeah,
He was
coming of age
changing.
thing.
Your voice is changing or changing. That was Teen
Yeah.
Wolf.
Interest in
right?
boys, etc. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was the girl version of that kind of.
I guess so, yes. But the way people
So
just kept
was
talking
this,
about period was ridiculous.
I can't remember. Is this a Chinese thing?
I
Or
think so.
I can't remember what country it's from.
It's from that side.
remember.
Sorry.
I can't remember. It might not be Chinese. It might be like Taiwan or something. Anyways,
the red panda is cute and all, but have you ever seen a real red panda? It's about the size of a raccoon.
I did, but I didn't see it doing anything.
And they're super cute. And this thing was huge.
But this is all folklore stuff.
I know. I was like, why did they have to make her so big?
Well, she wasn't that big, but like
No, but pandas aren't huge.
the grandma and the mom. I mean, the mom's
They all
panda
are
was huge.
huge
She was like
pandas,
pissed
yeah.
off.
I was like, so what were they trying to tell, like, in the storyline, why they decided to make the panda so huge?
Okay, let's think about this.
Why?
Okay.
I mean, were they because they were like the gods and protectors of the area?
Well, remember why?
Because they were the folklore
It
protectors.
was a protector, and that was the whole thing in the beginning. The first panda was like she took on this power, and she became the protector of the people.
Right, and then it kind of passed through the heritage.
Right. So it was a protector kind of thing. It passed through the female lineage of the family. Mm-hmm. So it was a big thing. Damn, but her panda was a lot smaller than the other pandas.
I think,
But she was a
asleep at that
nicer.
part,
But she was. Oh, really? That was real good, huh?
sorry. I'll
Yeah,
watch it
her
again, I
panda.
will.
Her panda was smaller than the rest, but her panda was also nicer. She was able to bring a different aspect of the panda to the story than, like, say, her mom and.
And part of that was her youth.
So she got control of it and was able to, like, bless others around her, really, with her power.
She gained control of it faster than any of the other
So-
previous pandas.
So, and then it had the boy band in there. What'd you think about that?
That was funny.
What do they call that? Something pop?
Yeah.
I can't
I
remember.
can't remember. You were making fun of it earlier. Now I'm totally name blank on it.
It's I don't know.
Iggy Pop or something like that.
No, Iggy Pop's a singer.
Okay.
Oh gosh!
Gosh darn it, I can't remember now. That's right,
Mine.
folks. You get detail here. No.
We're not into that, anyways. But
No.
it's it's big.
It was funny, but
the Asian
culture more, yeah,
than it is here. But I've heard of it here too. But it was more of that, and they were into this boy band, you know. I mean, you can kind of, it's Boys to Men, all those guys back then, because they were big too. It was kind of the same thing. There's 4 of them, and they're and dreamy and everything.
I had to say right at the first, right out of the gate, as she was talking about her independence. Don't tell me what to do.
She's 13.
I am who I am. I'm 13, and I'll do what I want. If I want to pop a cartwheel in the middle of the street right now, I will, and dumps her backpack everywhere. I thought right there, I was like, oh boy, here we go. Teenage attitude and how the parents are idiots. You see this all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, pretty much.
They didn't paint the parents as idiots.
No, the parents were real caring.
They were very caring, and I thought she was going to be real disrespectful, but she wasn't.
I thought so too. I thought she was going to be disrespectful,
and she wasn't.
And kind of. I mean, that was a lot of the comments that people were making, how it was teaching kids to be disrespectful to their parents,
and she really wasn't.
And I kind of saw that in the movie in some way, but I mean, we see that with our own kids.
Yeah.
You know, they have their own ideas and they have their own thing, and they want to be heard.
Because they're developing their own personality,
which is fine, and you need to allow that
to some extent.
They showed how the mother was like a helicopter parent.
Yes, she was.
Right.
Yes, she was a little overprotective.
Showing up at school and embarrassing her and stuff like that, you know, which is something that really goes on, Katie.
Hey.
No, she didn't really do that.
I'm not a helicopter parent
she
outside
wants
of
to
a
protect
window
her.
anyway.
She wants to protect the kids.
But I can be a
Hey, she's a good mom. She loves her kids.
I can be a bit of a bear when you set me off with one of my kids.
Oh, don't mess with her kids. And she'll...
Don't mess with Mama Bear.
I mean, it's not like she's going to rip your head off or nothing, but... Anyway, it showed that side of that relationship, which is true, which wasn't a bad thing, but it also just showed how kids need to be their own self, but they still need to have boundaries.
They had boundaries, but I think it showed her independence, but it also showed an incredibly strong foundation that she had with her mother.
Okay, but she didn't learn that right off the bat.
Well, some of that was inbred. How much they loved to clean together and things that they did together.
But she wanted to do her own thing.
She learned with her mom.
She snuck out of the house and went to that stupid concert.
She did, but she was trying to go to all that stuff. But remember, as her friends were saying, "Hey, come on, let's go do this," and she was like, "I really want to clean with my mom."
She dissed on her friends, man.
You're missing my point. You're turning my positive into a negative. Don't do that.
Don't do that?
It ain't right.
It's not good for the show.
Don't diss on me like that. No. But I thought it showed both sides. She's trying to do this, but it also showed how much she really loved and respected her mother. But she didn't want to be her mother. She wanted her mother to see her, too, and give her a chance to bloom.
But she did have respect for her mom, because she did kind of diss on her friends because she didn't want to disobey her mom, so she kind of blamed them for something, and then they got all hateful toward her because of it, you know. It kind of disowned her for a little bit there, only because she didn't want to disappoint her mother, you know. And so, but in the end, she
came around.
She told
made
her
things
friends
right. She apologized
and stuff, you know. And I think they all
respected her more.
Learned that in the end,
and her friends had her back when she had her little panda change. Nobody loved her any less.
Right. So what did you think did you think that meant anything else besides just... Because I guess it was through her lineage, so they didn't really have that there. They said there's normal kids.
Yep.
What do you think that meant? Do you think that meant anything?
I mean, you can look at the big coming of age change and the changes in kids and their need to discover their own individuality, and their personalities can be as big as a big red panda, or they can be a little tiny little mouse, but they got to find themselves and to accept them, the room and space with respect to become who they need to become, and not just control it so much that they can't develop.
But I also think that she also learned herself that she needed to, even though she wanted to be her own self, okay,
she respected her heritage.
That she respected her heritage, and she still respected her parents, because she didn't tell them to shove off. You know what I mean?
She learned a lot in her change too.
But they had to kind of let her go a little bit. You know,
loose the reins a little bit.
And I think in today's world, I guess.
It's not easy.
I mean, it's never changed. It's always been the same. I mean, parents have to let their kids kind of do their own thing and not meddle in it too much unless you think they're going to hurt themselves. But you have to kind of let go.
To some extent.
Yeah, so they can...
They have to experience life. They can't just
But
learn
don't
by
let them
us.
do whatever the heck they want. Do you think that movie portrayed that? Because I think that was one of the big ordeals with a lot of people.
Okay, I think so.
That was going away from that.
I don't think so.
Let kids do whatever they want. You have no control over them. Let them make their own choices.
No,
do you think it portrayed that?
No, I think mother was guiding her the entire time and helping her, and she was still listening to her parents.
Well,
she was just wanting to have the freedom to still respect you, but be an individual.
Okay. The one thing that I thought was interesting, too, in the end, was that she got to see why her mom was like she was. Mm-hmm. Because she got to see her mom. She got a flashback. She got a vision of her mom when she was a girl.
Thing, yeah.
Okay? And I think lots of times we don't open ourselves up to our own kids and let them know that, because they think, we're mom and dad, you guys don't understand. They forget that mom and dad, and even older brothers and sisters, have gone through some of the stuff you're gone through, and they push it off as it's not the same.
Yeah.
And so they don't allow themselves to learn that part of their parents or older siblings, part of their personality, why they are who they are. I think that was a good message too, that she was able to see that and gain some respect for her mom, or understanding for why her mom's so protective or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good.
It's good.
Part of it.
That was good.
So maybe I'm missing a bunch of stuff that people were nitpicking about. I don't know, but I think it wasn't a bad movie.
No, not at all. And I thought it was hard. I could see the mother's stance. I could see her stance. I could put myself into many characters there.
Right, because you've been through life.
Yes, and I think we do as parents kind of try to protect our kids in many ways from experiencing. We have to. So you kind of build up this bubble of protection around them. Okay, I'll give them the information they need to know, and this is what you do, and this is what you don't do.
It's the parents' job.
It's our job to do that. But I think sometimes we do forget to share a lot of detail of ourselves and our own experiences.
Well, and I think a lot of that too, you can't put it all on yourself. sometimes kids don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it. But I know the difference between my first 8 children, or 7, and my last 2. They're different. I changed. I got older.
Well, you learned a lot.
I learned a lot on the earlier ones, and I am pretty much anything she wants to know. There's no hold, no bar. I'll tell you. I'm an open book about my history, my good, the bad, the ugly, because I think the more down to earth and realistic I am, I've been where you are. I've done this, and this is what happened. I don't recommend you do this. It's painful.
Right.
This is what happened with me when I went through that. I'm more relatable.
And if we don't attempt to share those things with our kids, then
they'll share with somebody else.
Right. And so, as a parent, I think you need to not be afraid to share those things. As long as it's appropriate, depending on what it is you're sharing. But
of course, some of it requires a little editing. But
these are things that I'm glad. I think as a dad, I think that I've been pretty good with my kid, with the boys. Mm-hmm. Some of them. I love all the kids. Okay. But some of them I've had good heart-to-heart talks with, and not just the boys, but I'm glad I kind of try to really be myself around them, so they know my personality, whether I'm a jerk sometimes or a complete doofus. They know who I am. Mm-hmm. Where I respect my dad, okay, to the hilt. The guy, awesome, did the best he could. But I long for the things I never got to talk to him about. You know, like, because I was 13 or something like that when he passed away. So
Right.
I never really got to, I wish I could have sat down and say, hey, you know, find out some stuff about when he was a teenager. You know what I mean? These kind of things. And that's valuable stuff, I think, to share with your kids, and hopefully that they'll ask about, because it's reality.
It
you know?
is.
And so I think this movie kind of brought that out, and where she got to see her mom as a kid and why she
Can't
turned
hide
out
your
the way
history.
she did. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So don't be afraid to
Be
share
yourself
that
with
stuff,
your
because
kids
we don't
and
get
share.
to have those little
Yeah.
little flashbacks
I
like the
think-
cartoon does.
Yeah, I love all
I-
of my children, but I feel like I probably have a better relationship, and no discredit to the rest of my children. I love you guys, all of you. But I think that my last two know me better
Probably.
than any of them.
Because we've had all this time to...
Time to talk and to share
Yeah.
and to
So-
grow with each other
we've
and learn how
and
to
we've learned
be
stuff
better
from
parents.
the other kids.
Yeah.
You know, which is
Trial
is
and
good.
error.
Which is good. I'm glad we were able to learn that stuff from all
And we're
of them.
still learning.
What a great Disney podcast. Oh,
Yeah,
so
but anyway, a little parental moments
becoming,
here.
what was it called again? Turning Red.
Turning Red.
Kind of brought all these kind of things up in it, I thought.
I thought so too.
So,
Yeah.
I'm not as critical as some of the people are being. I mean,
Me
you know,
neither.
I don't see it.
And I will watch it again because, quite frankly, I was tired and I fell asleep
all
for
that
just a
other-
little bit of it.
All that stuff they're complaining about is life.
Yeah.
Okay? So what? She's growing up. She's becoming a woman. That's part of life. I'm sorry. You got to talk to your kids about it sometime. And I'm conservative. I mean, we're conservative parents, okay? But I also know that there's some things you have to talk about your kids about, and that's up to the parents. That's not up to society to bring up. That's where the
Absolutely.
parents should be stepping in. That's part of the problem with what we're going through in society right now, is the fact that we think it's everybody else's
Job to
job.
teach your kids.
It's really
when it's
your job. They're your
Yep.
kids. You should be talking about this stuff.
Yep. I don't want anybody teaching my kids
know?
about sexuality or drugs or any of that. I mean, that is all my job.
It's our job.
My
and
job
they need-
to raise them as
and we-
I see fit.
We
not
need to help
how
them
the government
navigate
sees
through
fit.
that. Right.
And more parents need to speak up and become a source and go to parent
You hear that?
meetings.
You hear that, Disney?
And Disney, I mean, how in the heck did we get off on this? But
Well,
Disney politically
it
needs
kinda-
to stay the heck out of it.
It's kind of, you know,
out
it's
Disney,
kind of in
out.
there right now. We're not going to get into it, but I'm with you. I mean,
Stay
that's
out
how
of
we
it.
feel about it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, they're getting into that stuff, and I think they need to stay out. They
need to be
there's too many people.
Switzerland.
You need to be Switzerland. You need to be,
Stay out of it.
You just need to, you know,
Be the
be the
fantasy
place where we can all go
and get away from
and
it.
get away from the reality of life, okay?
Yep.
We want to go there and just enjoy Disney. That's the magic of Disney. That's where we want to go there. We're not there to, nobody's there to judge anybody. We're just all there to, you know, have a good time. you know?
Yeah. To escape reality and life. You're there to
So-
have fun with your kids and escape life.
We're not there to push anything on anybody.
Yeah. So, the more they could leave the politics and all of that stuff out of the park, the better. And
Unfortunately, it's not-
shame on me, but I really enjoyed Disney. I don't have a problem with people having their own sexuality. Don't care. But I don't want it taught to my kids. I
It's
think
not their
it's
job.
not your job to push that. If that's your norm, be norm. You
Look,
be you, but
this-
don't make it the norm for everybody.
If they're your kids, you teach them how
Right.
you feel fit.
That's
feel
fine.
the
You
need
be
to teach
you,
them,
man.
all right? Okay.
I'm for just teach everybody to love one another. There's no need to
Right.
be hateful. Everybody's got to be their own person, and
It
you gotta
doesn't
pick
matter
your
who
own
you
norm.
are. You need to treat each other with respect.
with respect and
You
love.
don't have to agree with everybody. You don't have to condone everything they do, but you should treat everybody with a little bit. With kindness. I
Yes.
mean,
If
doesn't
teachers
mean
could teach that, great. You'd have a lot less bullying. You'd have a lot less of other things. Instead of teaching them that this is normal to be this way or that way, or the 200 new versions of sexuality they want to identify with. I think if we could just get down to the basics of just teaching, just flat out human kindness,
we're
and
all
to not
human
judge one
beings
another.
and our choices
Just
are our
to
choices.
love one another. A simple commandment given a long time ago in the scriptures, just to love one another. That's
Yeah.
all. This
Yeah.
is just a basic commandment.
None of us are to,
Yep.
to judge. That's how we were raised. So, even though we do it sometimes, because we're human beings, but
just remember,
just
try
treat
not
each other
to.
nice. That's all. Just we're all human beings. Just treat each other nice with some respect, and that's all. And we can all get along.
Yep. You be you and be a good you.
So, okay. So now this movie, we do our little poison apple thing, our candy apple. What do you give it?
Oh, gosh. Musically, I liked Encanto better.
I don't remember any of the music.
I don't remember any music from
Turning Red.
Turning Red.
I know they had that boy band thing.
Nothing stood out.
I remember going into to Animal Kingdom, into the shop there.
Yeah.
Just as you're going into the park, and I saw the T-shirt with, I can't even remember the name of the band.
That's how much it stood out to.
But I mean, I go, what's that from? Is that from the
Yeah.
movie? He's like, yeah, it's from Turning Red. I'm like, oh, okay. I hadn't seen it at that point. I think it just maybe come out on Disney Plus when we were there.
I think
last.
it came out just before we left, or
So
we had not seen
we
it.
just went into the preview thing
Yeah.
and saw the preview of it, but we've seen it, the movie since then. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you give it about the same as you did in Encanto? Or?
I would say probably just below Encanto. I mean, I really liked it, but for Disney, I want a song that I walk away with.
Right, it didn't have the soundtrack.
The soundtrack for the total big Disney picture.
Now, I can't remember. Was this a Pixar?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, and it's a Pixar.
I think it might have been.
I lump them all together anymore.
Boy, we're really good, aren't we? We're just talking about the movie.
We're just talking about a movie. It's okay.
But I mean, the animation was good again. I think it might have been a Pixar. Kind of looked like a Pixar, but you have the Disney kind of one too.
Animation was good. Storyline was good.
I think it had a good message. I mean, I don't know if I agree with everything in it, but
you can pick up what you want to interpret out of it. Just like any story. You're gonna pick up what you want out of it.
It's like I kind of been. I don't know if it was the way I was raised or whatever. You just try to pick out truths as you see them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not everything you hear or sees maybe gonna hit you the same way, but you can pick out the good things out of things.
Yeah.
And thrive on those things, and then the rest of it you just discard. I mean, it doesn't mean you accept everything.
Correct. Everyone's gonna. I mean, you could read the same story. 10 people read the same story, and those 10 people will tell you different things that were important to them, what stood out to them. And it could be the same silly little 2-paragraph story, and they can pick out 10 different things.
You can go through the same experience, and one person can have a terrible experience, and
the other person will have a glorious experience.
The best day of your life.
To each their freaking own.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
So, I'd have to say, Encanto, musically, probably better. I can't say that I do recollect the music a little bit better in Encanto than the other one. But I don't know. I kind of put them the same.
Do you put them the same? They would be very close. I would say
close.
Probably within an apple of one another.
Yeah.
If Turning Red had a better
5.
soundtrack, then maybe the full picture would have gave me a little better.
Again, you watched Encanto 3 times.
I did. Now, I have not given Turning Red a 3/4 turn towards apple, so that may change. Just at this point, that's what
anyway, this is our
I would give it
preview on it. So
yep,
wasn't bad, wasn't terrible. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was the best one out there, but they're always trying to do different things. So
I think we've had a lot of princesses being brought in from all different countries. I'd like to see a nice American story. I haven't seen one in a long time.
We don't have princesses in America, other than they brought Princess and the Frog. That was kind of an American thing, but they brought another country in there so she could be a princess.
Yeah, I really think they need to work on a nice.
What would you say?
American princess.
But there is no American princess.
There isn't really. I mean, you got Tiana, but is that your representation really of an American girl?
No, but it's not going to be a princess thing.
No, it doesn't have to be.
How could you
but
do it?
A good American girl story.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're representing different cultures from different worlds, and we're jumping all over the place.
That would take. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
To just American-based American girl story.
You know,
of
they can
whether
come
it's
up with an
rags to riches
original
or whatever story. It's just
some kind of original storyline.
Storyline.
Yeah.
That is.
There you go.
American Girl. I mean,
that'll give you some good brain exercise. Figure a storyline out about that. There's got to be something out there they can play off of.
I could play off of lots of different things actually in my mind,
but you're not an Imagineer.
But I can imagine.
Then what would you do?
All I need to be near.
Oh, what?
I can imagine. All I need is the near.
Well, you can do a chair Imagineer.
I can.
You know.
I can.
Could you do it right now?
If I had time just to kind of put some thought into it, you knew I would do it with all kinds of detail because that's how I roll.
Should we do that sometime? I mean, I don't know if I can do it, but you could probably come up. I mean, you can come up with pretty good stuff sometimes.
Yeah, it's usually twisted, but I'll try not to go that way.
I flick or something.
I'm
some
sorry.
Crazy horror dream you had.
I'm cursed. I've been cursed with nightmares since I was a little girl. So, and I remember them with great detail. And can wake up and go right back into them where I left off.
I keep telling her she needs to write some horror books or something.
They went away when I lost my stress.
It's like,
so I'm happy that they're gone.
When was that? When you married me or something?
Most of the time, yes. I have had very few with you. The only time that I have them is if my life is really stressed out over something.
That's right.
I don't have them with you, which I really appreciate that I have that peace in my life that I don't have them.
Well, that's good. All right.
Okay.
Well, there you go. There's Encanto and Turning Red. I hope you guys enjoyed a little banter about it. We don't mean to offend anybody. Hope we didn't.
Heavens no.
With our little...
Family Talk 101 here.
Yeah.
And Parenting 101.
Yeah.
We do get into that periodically, being parents of 9 children.
We are...
And 10 grandchildren and
Disney,
8 exchange students. And
Disney fans, even though we don't agree with everything that they're doing right now.
We don't all have to agree. But I do gotta love them.
So, I'm not talking about the kids. I'm talking about Disney.
You know what?
Kids as well.
This is how I see. A lot of people are like, how can you still go to Disney with all that they're doing? And I've had people just flat out tell me, you got to stop going there because they're politically wrong. And I look at them, I said, you know what? Disney's under bad management. I can no longer stop being part of Disney any more than I can stop being American, because right now America's under really bad management.
Well,
but I'm still American.
But some people.
But there's some really bad shit going on.
There are some. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't care what side politically you're on.
I agree with you. You can't tell me that
we're in the crapper right now.
We're not in really bad shape right now.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, yeah. But I agree. I mean, just because, I mean, I've thought about this too. I thought about this because, I kind of been a Disney fan my whole life.
Yes.
And when I was thinking about this recently, I'm like, maybe we should start talking about vintage Disney stuff because
a lot of people are losing their magic.
Yeah,
right
there's
now.
a lot
really
of people
are.
that are getting fed up with it, and I can't say that I see where they're coming from, and I can agree with them on some stuff, and sometimes I question my own fandom on it, but I kind of see where you're coming with it too, Katie, that just because there's some idiots in there that are doing some stupid stuff that I think isn't very good, doesn't mean there's
not be there forever.
There's not some good in there, that things that we can still enjoy. I mean, but then you get people, well, you're supporting the machine, you know.
Am I supporting the machine, or basically I'm enjoying myself doing something that I enjoy doing.
Right.
I support the legend of Walt and what he is and the original family. I support the history that created what it was, the one man's dream and what you can do with a dream. I support the initiative of all that he did and the creating power and the inventions that came about because of his dream, because he believed he could do things. I believe in that inspiration.
Right.
There's a lot of that can be, there's so much good still there. You can't get so wrapped up in
because you're on the sidetrack,
the politics and the business end, that it destroys the magic within. I have to let go of all that crap and try to always remember why I'm there. What makes me love Disney? and try to not get caught in that. Because it's still there. The magic is still there. I still love it.
Even people that work for Disney are getting caught up in that crap.
Because Disney insists on being in the middle of a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be in right now. Quite frankly, it's under bad management. It really needs to be a change needs to occur.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you haven't seen the stocks lately, it's obvious. Stocks are down, boys.
What does that mean?
It means things are not running well when the stocks are down on Disney. Buy now.
Buy now. I got less than a stock.
Yeah, well.
I'm floating at it.
You're floating something. So anyway,
anyways, take care, guys. Thanks for tuning into the episode. We hope everybody's doing good, and you guys all have a great week.
Absolutely.
And,
happy is as happy does, and you have the power every day to choose happiness. Look for it, find it, pass it on. Choose happy.
Just treat people around you nice. Okay?
Absolutely.
Regardless, even if they don't agree with you, even if you think they're freaking freaks, they're still human beings.
And God loves them the same as He loves you. So let it go.
They need to be treated nicely.
Yep.
So, anyways, have a good week and
keep smiling.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Living
Lovin' Disney.
All right. See ya. Bye.